in the West. Now on to the quick news. We have Rudy Gay signing a $40 million extension with the Sacramento Kings to keep him there. That's big news for them, especially because I think Rudy Gay has been great so far this year. A guy who has kind of bounced around of late, but a lot better now. I think he's kind of found a spot that he can settle down. This is a 3-year contract extension, and he is currently in the final year of his contract. Will pay him $19.3 million. This is statistically Rudy Gay's best year of his career. Next up, Aaron Gordon, the talented rookie, the first-round draft pick of the Orlando Magic, has been sidelined. He is out indefinitely with a foot injury. They will reevaluate after this game. Right now, he's averaging 6.3 rebounds, and he has played in all 11 games. We'll keep you updated on that. The Lakers, Ryan Kelly, former Duke player, is out 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. And anytime I hear hamstring injury, I think of Rose. Luckily, not quite as serious, but for a Lakers team that just can get no breaks and is playing just awful, another big blow for them. And last but not least, the Cavaliers, they're definitely going all in. They're looking at Corey Brewer, as are the Houston Rockets, to bolster that bench. I don't think Cleveland should do it. To be honest, that would give them, 5 small forwards? They would have Brewer, they'd have James Jones, they'd have Mike Miller, they'd have Sean Marion. It's just ridiculous how many small forwards that team has. And that wraps up the quick news. And now we're going to get into the power rankings. And let's start with number 5. We'll each give our number 5 team to start. At number 5, I have Toronto. Despite sitting at number 1, I don't give it purely off record. I also look at, of course, how the team does in matchups against similar opponents, and I think that was one of the reasons why I put them at 5 after the loss to Chicago. CB, who you got at 5?
I got Toronto as well. They have a good record right now. They're sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference right now at 8-2. I think that they probably might. I think they're going to surprise some teams and be better than we thought. That backcourt's still really good, and Johnson is playing really well for that team. I think that bench is deeper than people thought. They have James Johnson as well. That team's bench is no slouch, and they're a lot deeper than I expected. Valanciunas is playing a lot better this year. I think this is a team that could really contend and top of the Eastern Conference. Really surprise some people this year.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from the Raptors thus far. Next up at number 4, I have the Golden State Warriors, off to a great start. I mean, I really like what I've seen from the Warriors. And I think Klay Thompson is really asserting himself. And I recently heard a bold prediction saying Klay Thompson would show himself to be the best shooting guard in the NBA, better than James Harden. That's a really bold prediction. But it's possible, and he's looked really good thus far, as has Golden State. So that is my number 4 team. CB, who you got?
Yeah, I'm actually getting all the Chicago here instead. Again, they've been really, really good, but it's hard for me to put an Eastern Conference team ahead of Western Conference team who has a better record than they do. Now, granted, Toronto has a better record than Chicago, but we just saw Chicago pretty much beat down Toronto when they had Derrick Rose up 18 points in the fourth quarter. Again, this team is very dependent on Derrick Rose, and with Derrick Rose healthy, I'd put them higher than I have him right now. But 3 teams in the Western Conference with better records, it's hard for me to put anyone in the Western Conference below someone in the East, especially when they have a better record.
Yeah, that is a fair point. I've got Chicago at number 3. Once again, I'm giving them a little bit of leeway due to the fact that they've had so many injuries and so many issues, which is one of the big reasons they are at 3 for me right now. As the season goes on, as they get healthy, I think they could find themselves at number 2 and sometimes even number 1. Health is key for them, and I've got them at number 3. I think 3, 4, and 5 right now for me, they could all be alternated, though I do think Toronto at 5 is a good spot to put them. Who do you have right now at number 3, CB?
I have your number 4 selection, Golden State. Again, 8-2, better record than the Bulls. That backcourt has been disgusting this year. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. I think let's just see more of David Lee as well. That team's really, really going to impress some people this year. I think this could be one of the years that they surprise some people and really might make a run at the NBA Finals. I think this team's a lot better than last year, and I don't know if it was a coaching change or something. They just seem to be playing a lot better. Klay Thompson's having a much better year. Maybe having Steve Kerr as a mentor helps out. As maybe Klay Thompson's a little more athletic, but as shooters, they both fill a similar role. And I think, especially once you get David Lee back, I think this team's going to be top notch.
Okay, now on to number 2, and I have Memphis right now. This could change, actually. I'm going to change it because Memphis is about to win tonight. I'm putting Memphis at number 1 in the power rankings. It kind of revealed it. That's kind of but I kind of said Memphis already. So Houston's number 2 after a really just demoralizing loss against Memphis tonight, and just a horrible performance against the Thunder. They're dropping. If they don't pick it up, they're going to drop off my top 5. I don't like when a Western Conference team doesn't put up good numbers. You should be scoring in the Western Conference. That's like a prerequisite. So I've got Houston at number 2. CB, who you have at number 2?
I'm going to go with Memphis. I get the fact that Houston lost tonight, and it wasn't a good win and it wasn't a good way to Memphis. But I still think Houston's a better team here. James Harden not doing work for my fantasy team tonight, unfortunately. But we'll be okay. I think that Houston, when healthy, they have such an inside-out threat with Harden on the outside, being able to drive and shoot the ball, and then you throw it into Dwight Howard. I think it's one of the most two-way, one of the best two-way games in the league. I just think that Memphis isn't quite as real as we think. Now it's hard to deny their record. It's the best in the NBA, and that's why I'm going to put them as high as I am. But I don't know if they're really as good as we think they are. I have trouble trusting some of those players. Marc Gasol's had some injury issues lately. Mike Conley, can he be the point guard that everyone thinks he can be? Certainly a very talented team, but I have a hard time putting them as the best team in the NBA. I think that Houston just hit a bit of a rough patch losing their last 2 games. I think they'll be fine. I think they're right now my number 1 seed.
Okay, yeah, as I said, I've got Memphis at number 1. I'm going purely off of performance thus far. This is going to change, and this is going to change really fast because we are it's so early on in the year. A lot of things are going to change, but this brings us basically to the end. It was a pretty short episode, but busy day for both of us. And I think we got a lot of stuff covered in the show. It's been a good show thus far, so let's wrap it up with some final words. CB?
I don't have too much else to say right now. Took a nap before when I got home from school and didn't have time to put Avery Bradley in my fantasy lineup, so that was disappointing. Looking forward to see a little bit of the Bulls game tonight before I go to bed out here on the East Coast. It's already 10:30, and it's kind of hard to stay up until 1 a.m. On a consistent basis to watch these circus strip games. But I hope to look forward to watching a little bit of that while I finish up my homework.
Okay. Final words for me. Go Bulls. Hopefully we get the win tonight. I'm going to try to catch as much of that as I can while doing my homework. Go Buckeyes. Even though this isn't I guess I can say go Buckeyes. We're into college basketball season and college football's in full swing. Go Packers. Go every team that I haven't covered. And I really just thoughts go out to Derrick Rose right now and his hamstring. We need it. We need it to be healthy. And I really hope he can come back as soon as possible. But big ups to Jimmy Butler and how he has played thus far. Well, that is about it for today. Once again, you can like us on Facebook, Infinity Sports Network. I will be sure to let everybody know if there is a Facebook or a Twitter account for Point Play. Not exactly sure yet, but yeah, that's about it. Thanks to everybody who turned up for the show. Not turned up. Wow. What a great ending to the show. Turned up. Yo, you're turning up for the show. Big turn ups, though.
No.
Let's turn up for the show. Everybody turn up for basketball. Turn up for basketball. I'm going to end this now because this has been a really, really rocky end to the show. This is what college application process has done to me. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into the show. We hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next week, hopefully. Be sure to catch some of the NBA action. It's been a pretty great season thus far. So
Sports Talk every Saturday at 8 as well.
Oh, yeah, self-promotion. Blake and Noah, LA to Chicago. Kicking It will be back this week with or without Byron and Jake. Hopefully with them. Scheduling conflicts are a problem. But nonetheless, thank you for tuning in. It's been a pretty great show, except for that ending. For CB Garrett, I'm Noah Taborda. Have a great rest of your Thursday and go Bulls.